So, before I watched this movie, and I've only watched it once so far, I definitely need to watch it again to really like pick up on everything because I was kind of half doing stuff as I was watching it. However, I noticed something that I've not seen people talk about yet on here, so I wanted to share what I've found and just kind of put it out there for people to see what you think. So I've been really kind of like put onto the rapture these past few months, and I've always known about the ascension, and I've always kind of thought it would happen gradually, and it would just be like a gradual shift in frequency, vibration, and we end up just kind of being in this new golden age of like heaven on earth. And more recently I've kind of been like guided towards maybe like a rapture type event where like the good end up literally leaving the darkness and the evil ones behind. And so before I even knew that this movie was a thing, I was driving literally a few weeks ago, and I was thinking about whether it would be more of a rapture where we do just go, and if that's true, it will be very soon. So I was thinking, is that true, or is it just going to be one of those that's like a bit of a, everyone talks about it, but really what will happen is just gradually like life will shift kind of thing. And as I was thinking about it, I saw on a massive billboard as I was driving, this massive billboard said, "Leave the world behind." So I was like, okay, okay, God, I get it. I get the kind of like the message. So I was like, okay, we obviously are leaving this world behind then, because people talk about New Earth and plans can change as well. It's possible it was going to be a gradual thing, and maybe, you know, if I think about it really, the way that the world is, if you think about how long it would take to really change everything and everyone, compared to if you could just get rid of everything and start fresh with a clean slate, it's a lot easier to actually start afresh, a lot quicker and easier. So it's possible that that might be the plan now anyway. So I watched this woman called Colette Reynolds on here. She's awesome. She's done loads of videos already about all the symbology she's found in this movie. What caught my eye is obviously seeing who had directed it or co-directed it, whatever it is, because of what I was told a few years ago about who that person is. And let's just say if JC is Jesus Christ, then I've heard that that person is the AC. So this is all for entertainment purposes only. This is all just for fun. So that's all I'm saying. So I thought, you know, there must be a serious message in this movie if the AC has wanted to put his 2 cents in there. Now I wanted to share as well, the AC actually has a purpose here on the earth. That's why they are here, because their purpose is basically to basically for everyone who never found the light, who never turned to the light and basically turned against God, the AC is there to, I don't want to say the word punish them, but basically to just give them their karma and give them all that they've been serving and all that they've been dealing, to hopefully in the long run make them turn to the light. Sometimes there's 2 paths you can do. So you can do the path of mercy or the path of severity. The path of mercy is finding the light and finding the God through mercy, through like self-love, through love for others, and you go on the path of kind of like the light, which is the Christic path. Or you can go on the path of severity, which is kind of learning and growing through pain, through suffering, and through the darkness. And so some people turn to the darkness and they can never come back, and some just get lost and have the opportunity to come back. And what I would like to feel is the AC, his purpose on here is because if there is a rapture and if the good do leave, those who didn't turn to the light, they will still be here, and people call it the tribulation, where they basically have this 7 years or however long it might be of the AC ruling and basically like putting people through shit so that they hopefully have this second awakening. Crap, where's God? I need God. And they find God. So like the tribulation is almost like a second chance for anyone who didn't turn to the light to wake up and realize God is real and to turn to the light. Not because God has turned away from them, or God wants to punish them or anything like that, but because we've got free will, and God, every lifetime, God's given us like 2,000 years since Jesus was last here to remember Christ, or to find the light, or to find him, to find God through whatever path, because all the different religions, all the different paths, they all have positives, and some of them have negatives as well. But there's beings and people of the light in those paths, and there are people in the night of all paths. The spiritual night has unfortunately infiltrated all religions, all paths, and so it's not that one religion's right or wrong, it's that you need to find the light and find God. So if whatever religion you are, if you are working with God, if you're finding the light, if you're being the light, if you're trying to be a positive change in this world, you will be ascending and coming in the rapture kind of thing. So the AC, once those people go, because they've found the light, and God gives us so many chances. You see people talking about God in the streets, and some people just laugh at them, and it's like, really, if you was awake to all this stuff and you got rid of the bad spells and the bad programming, you would see that God's telling you everywhere that he exists. And so we just need to turn and realise that God exists, and also God is the same God in all religions. Everyone agrees there's one main kind of creator. It's the same one, okay? So the AC is here for everyone who never found God, as a second chance to shake them and wake them through like negative scenarios, in order for them to turn to God and pray to God and be like, God, please, because like I was saying, it's not that God's abandoned them, but they need to turn to the light in order to go to the light. So God can't just pick them up and say, hey, come here with me, because we've got the free will. God's allowing us to basically make our own choices. And he's hoping, because they didn't get it through the path of mercy, maybe the path of severity is what they choose to awake them up to find the light and find God again. When you want the light and when you become the light, you're drawn to the light. So you choose yourself what path you take and where you're going to go. It's got nothing really to do with God. So this is why it's all our own individual choices, where we want to go and what we want to do, and where we'll end up being, what kind of timeline or world we'll end up incarnating or living on. So to share what I found in this movie, if you look at Colette Reynolds' videos, she talks a lot about how this movie really represents the rapture in so many ways, and it's like the Christians have all gone, and this is kind of the tribulation period now, where things start to hit the fan. So people have been talking about that Friends episode, and they've been watching the episode and trying to figure out exactly like, what is it about that last one Friends episode that's such a big deal. So I had a look on the screen, and I saw that the episode was episode number 1017, so like series 10, episode 17. So I looked online at 1017 Bible, I just typed that in, and it came up with a small phrase from Romans 10:17, and the phrase is, so faith comes from hearing, and hearing through the word of Christ. So I was kind of like, what does that even mean? So I went back to the beginning of the Romans 10 to read the context of what that phrase was, and I was so shocked, because it's talking literally about Israel, and also like why they are suffering right now, or why they were in the past, but it's like really relevant to now. And then also it's talking about what seems like the rapture, with people going up and people going down. So it's possible that this is a message to everyone who's not found the light, not necessarily just people from Israel, but I've talked for too long, so I can't read you out the whole verse, but I'm going to put it now. So screenshot it, or just pause the video and read this, and let me know what you think.